Hello everybody, today's video is about a hinge 155 degrees of Blum. I will going to explain how it can prevent a mistake, how it can save time to the designer or to you, owner of the factory, to not going and look about the hardware 110 degrees, what it can do, what can do 155 degrees and so on. So in the previous video I show about the hinge of 110 degrees, that this hinge with my smart components is prevent you to make mistakes. If, for example, as in the previous video, you can look at it, if I will take and say, for example, left overlay, I say 20 millimeter, so I will get an error and you will get here, down here, an exact instruction why it's not compatible, this hinge, and what you need to do to solve that problem. So in here, this is preventing you a mistake to put a not correct hardware. So here, as you can see, H cover large or smaller than allowed by manufacturer, -7 to 18 millimeter. This is the instruction that you need to follow, or you're doing this overlay, these limits of overlay, or you changing to a different type of hinge. And today I want to talk about the hinge 155 degrees that solve this kind of issue when you need more overlay than 18 millimeter, and this is a great solution. So for example, in this cabinet I have here, if we measure, the thickness is 70 millimeter, and in some cases I want to put another 12 millimeter of paint, another part, because this left side is visible side, and say -10 millimeter, because I want to open it from here, from the bottom, instead of a handle. You can see here. And I will take these doors and I say that the bottom overlay is 70 plus 10 millimeter. So now I can open this door from the bottom, but I need to cover this another 12 millimeter of material. If I do it with the regular 110 degrees, so it's impossible. So in that case, you can use one of my smart components that is 155 degrees, that will give you and more overlay, because in this hand, if you go to the manual of Blum, you will see that this can give you much more overlay. So instead of your designer are going to waste time and look for the technical, learn the technical things about the one hind or another hind to understand if this is even compatible to the cabinet that he wants to build, so he's just using the components, and the components will give him exact instruction what he can use and what he cannot use. And this will save time and of course save mistakes, that the designer cannot put some hardware that is not compatible to that cabinet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just, on this side I have here two doors, so this will stay 110 degrees, and I can change only this one by saying subcomponent, and I will interchange the whole set to 155 degrees. And when I change to 155 degrees, I now have a new hind with a new position of a hole. And now this hind, if I will go and say left overlay 70 plus 12 millimeter, I don't have any problem to make this overlay, and the hole will be at the correct position that you can open that door without any problem. So if my components will not give any error and explanation about the overlay, that means that this height is compatible to your design. So in that way you save time, you save mistakes, you prevent mistakes, as you can see here. And of course this component, like in the previous, you can change this mounting plate if you need. So again, I'm going to change it to 3 spacing. If you're using 3 space, then of course this hole will move another 3 millimeter. And in this height you have same limitation like in all the components, all the smart components of the overlay that you can do. For example, this beautiful hinge can do overlay of 36 or 37 millimeter. So if I will go and say I want 40 millimeter overlay, then you will get again an instruction: each cover is larger or smaller than allowed by the manufacturer, and you have the minimum that you can use for this hinge and the maximum that you can use. So if I can cover 38 millimeter with this 155 degrees, and it will open smoothly without any kind of problem. So I will go back, 70 plus 12. And now in this situation I have a big overlay, and I have here that I can another piece of 12 millimeter that I can paint with the same color of the door, and from the bottom I can open it. So this is for today, and see you next time.